Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I'm Paymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I started in 1996. And for over 30 years, I have not filed and paid federal income taxes and been teaching Americans like you to do the same legally and safely. Our website is freedomlawschool.org. In this presentation, I will cover the topic of the pros and cons of not filing a 1040 income tax confession form for your 2025 you're thinking about. Well, I will show you how you can stop fearing the IRS and how to be free. Now, even though, as many of you know, I recommend not filing 1040 income tax confession forms for the people of the 50 United States, I'll give you the pros and cons so you can decide for yourself what's best for you. But look at the facts. Look at the 1040 income tax, confession trap form, okay? And look at the numbers from the IRS, okay? And you'll see the truth for yourself, because I'll start with this, okay? They use this principle of Art of War by Sun Tzu, who was a military general in China long time ago, that the best way to win any war is to subdue your enemy to believe that they are weak and you are strong. That way your enemy will lay down their arms, can surrender. You don't have to risk any of your soldiers or military equipment. You just conquer the enemy. And that's what happens when they convince you, the corrupt major media, the accountant community, even tax lawyers, to sign the 1040 income tax confession trap form and give the rope to the IRS to hang you with. So here we go now. Let's go forward with the presentation, because really, to be free, you want to stop filing income tax forms. That is what you want to do, because this is how you get yourself in trouble with the IRS. Again, what happens? You were deceived by your accountant attorney to sign the IRS 1040 income tax confession trap form, and you put the noose around your neck, because when you sign and file a 1040 income tax confession trap, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. That's right. IRS never comes after you when you do that. You tell your enemy. It's like telling your neighbor, I give you a piece of paper under oath. I swear I owe you $1 million. So you owe it. Okay? See, this is how the IRS, you give them the power to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your crypto, steal your property, and put you in prison. All that is due to you signing a 1040 form. I'll show it to you. You see, I know most of you believe this. You believe that the IRS, filing an IRS 1040 income tax form is a safe way to avoid IRS audits and keep yourself out of trouble with the IRS. You need to think again. You unwittingly increase your chances of going to prison for taxes when you sign under penalties of perjury that your 1040 is true, correct, and complete. Okay? So, bottom line is, the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone is to not file any income tax confession forms. But I still give you the pros and cons of both. Okay, there's some pros to filing also, by the way. There's both ways. There's pros and cons. So look at this. Okay, so here, as I told you guys, you tell them that on the oath you owe the IRS money. There it is. The 1040 form, sign here. Big print. What is the small print? Boy, looks like a used car dealer. You've been to a used car salesman, and the price is this. Boy, look at the fine print. oh, we got this fee and that fee and the other fee added. You'd add a few $1,000s, to the price of that thing and say, well, we told you. It was written in there in tiny print so you don't notice, okay? What's a tiny print here? Oh, it's number one, under penalties of perjury. Yes, that means under oath you're swearing it is all true, correct, and complete, which in practice means that government can throw you in prison if everything on this form that you do not even understand is true, correct, and complete, right? Because somebody else told you what you put on this form, okay? And look at this amount you owe on line 37. TurboTax, HR Block, these tax preparers, your accountant, CPA, you sign on this line, this is the amount you owe. You claim that you owe the IRS all this money that you put in line 37. Yep, you do that yourself, okay? So another thing you should know as we sign a 1040 form is that you put yourself at risk of being charged with 3 separate tax crimes at the same time for each 1040 form that you file. Yep. Attempting to evade or defeat a tax evasion, 5 years. Filing fraudulent and false statements, 3 years. Filing fraudulent return statements or other documents, 1 year. Combined, you risk going to prison for up to 9 years for each year that you file a 1040 or any other tax form with the IRS. Oh, your accountant didn't tell you about that? TurboTax, HR Block, didn't mention that to you? Of course not. Why would they? They make more money off of you if they keep you ignorant. Just like the used car salesman, right? Let's continue on this process that you see the truth that I'm telling you. In fact, if you want to see the laws, click on these things. You can click on the law right here. I'm going to click on right now. Open a new tab. You can see there's a law from at the tax evasion. Right there, the law as published on House of Representatives website. You can see the law and read it for yourself. So I'm not making this stuff up at all. Okay. Now, if you are a cryptocurrency owner, okay, you are in worse space because here they have this question about digital assets they have. And this form basically that you sign under penalty of perjury, the question says, hey, bottom line is, did you, sell in any way, exchange or, get rid of some crypto, liquidated any crypto in any way? You can say only yes or no. If you say yes, right, you put yourself on the IRS audit list. The IRS is hammering crypto tax return filers with audits because the IRS knows how expensive and difficult figuring out the cost basis of your crypto sales is. That's right. And it knows a lot of money is being made in the crypto space, right? So the IRS can tax you on your entire gross crypto sales and transfers because they assume all your transfers, from your own wallet to another wallet, it's all gained by you. That's right. From your exchange to your private wallet, it's all gained by you, they assume, and hurting you big time. Now, if you say no, it's even worse. You just lied under oath under penalty of perjury, which will land you in tax prison for 3 separate tax crimes you've seen above, including tax evasion for up to 9 years for every 1040 form, which you lied about not having sold any cryptocurrency. Yep. So the only way to avoid the trap is what? Do not file and sign a 1040 form with the IRS, period, to begin with. That's the only way to be safe from this dilemma. Okay? Now, you have a Fifth Amendment right to be silent, to give not any information to the government that they could use to put you in prison. Yep. This is all here. You can read on our website, freedomlawschool.org. Okay. The quotes of Supreme Court cases are right here. You can slow down, review, and click on these tabs if you want to. And here's an example. Look at this. This former U.S. tax court judge, Diane Krupa, when the IRS came after Krupa, she did not even try to put up a defense and go to trial. Yep, she would not defend a 1044. She's not just an accountant or a CPA or tax lawyer. She's a tax court judge. She's an expert on tax law. There's only about 20 of these people in whole America. She could have told the judge in her trial that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm a judge of tax court. This is right. But guess what? She didn't do that. Why? Because it's very, very difficult to defend a 10 for income tax confession form that you have signed. So what did she do instead? Wow. And she pled guilty to reduce her sentence to only 34 months. Yep. And folks, you can read more about it. The hyperlinks on the articles are right here. Check it out, verify it for yourself, okay? So if, your accountant, lawyer, you think he'll do better than the judge in defending you, you want to take that risk? Now, this guy you see here, Joe Barrister, was a former gun-carrying IRS special agent with the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS, okay? And he told me this when he quit the IRS in 1999 and became one of my students, published a book about the IRS's fraud. He said that whenever at Criminal Investigation Division, we wanted to go after somebody. And by the way, he went after filers. He never went after any non-filers. Everybody he went after was a filer, okay? One of the first things that we did as a standard procedure was to request a copy of that person's previously filed tax returns so that we could use the information on those tax returns against them. Yep, that's what they do, okay? When they talk to you in person, though, they got to give you a Fifth Amendment warrant to be silent, and they don't have to give you nothing to the IRS, but you volunteer and give all this information to use against you to the IRS under oath. Yep. So now look at this. What you see here now is the IRS data books, which show that over 93% of the people the IRS puts in prison are actually filers. That's right. This is from their own IRS data book. This is 4 different charts, and I put them, there were different places in one page for you to be able to see the whole big picture, okay? So what we have here first, you see on the top level is combined results of all criminal prosecutions by the IRS from 2015 on the top right to the top left, 2021, okay? Now, the bottom half of this picture is non-filers alone, people who don't file at all. There's about 80 million non-filers right now in America, okay, roughly. So you get the idea there's about 150 million tax returns filed every year. Out of every 3 people, about 2 people file, 1 person doesn't file in America that works for a living. Look at 2015. 3,092 people were sentenced. The circle part, people put in prison. Whereas non-filers at the bottom is only 167. That means almost 3,000, over 2,900 people that went to prison were all filers, the vast majority. Look at the year 2018 now, okay? And they over 2,100 people that put in prison altogether in 2018. But look at the bottom half now, bottom left corner. Only 104 of them in 2018 were non-filers. The remaining 2,000 plus were all people who filed 10 for income tax confession form. You know, 2021, look at that, the last year on this chart, okay? 1,268 people went to prison altogether. Oh, by the way, IRS numbers are down, aren't they? Numbers going after everybody's down because IRS is a failing organization. That's right. All criminal prosecutions are being going down, and the Trump now is got even less and less. So that's a bonus. But look at even 2021, where IRS was doing better. That of the 1,268 people they put in prison, at the bottom left, you see only 88 of them. All 80 of these guys were non-filers. About 1,200 of them were all people who filed 10 for income tax confession form. The vast majority. So the IRS is absolutely, folks, relying upon you voluntarily agree to be a tax slave by filing a 1040 income tax confession form and admitting that you owe the IRS money. That's right. This is a statement, an article by Bloomberg. The link is right there. These former IRS commissioners agree that 1040 forms are taxpayer confession forms. This is a quote from what these two former IRS commissioners said. What's critical here to understand is that substantially all of the revenue of the IRS, the federal government, in collecting income taxes, increase does not come from IRS audits or enforcement. It comes from taxpayers. How? When they file their returns. They file those 1040 confession forms and admit under oath that they owe the IRS money. Okay, now that you get the big picture, I'm going to give you guys the risk and benefits of filing 1040 income tax confession trap forms, okay? I'm going to go over the risk and benefits separately in a different picture. You can see it for yourself. So here we go. Let's go over first the risks of filing 1040 income tax confession form. It's a lot, okay? You give up your Fifth Amendment right to be silent and hand over all of your financial information to the IRS that they can use against you. Bank account, crypto investments, real estate, everything. As I said, you sign under penalties of perjury that everything on the 1040 income tax confession form is 100% true. You confess under penalty of perjury that you have taxable income and owe the IRS money. You cannot change your mind or appeal your confession that you owe the IRS money that you signed. And you hope that the IRS accepts all of your business expenses, deductions, credits, and other tax breaks that you claim on your 1040 income tax and income tax confession form. And you put the burden of proof on yourself to prove all of your business expenses, deductions, credits, and other tax breaks that you claim on your 1040 income tax confession form. You give them permission to audit you, and you have to hire an accountant, CPA, and or tax attorney and pay them money to prepare your tax forms and audit defense if needed. May lose audit and owe the IRS more taxes, penalties, and interest. You don't know how much audits cost, but it could be very large, these audits, sometimes, how much you have to pay. I had one time an attorney back in 1992, when I was new at this, told me, Paymon, don't tell me about the IRS. My own account, CPA fees, for the last year and a half has been over $100,000 of 1992 money. This was a one-man law firm by himself. That's right, you have to pay a lot of money to these guys to help you. Otherwise, you sunk anyways because you signed that 1040 form under oath. For each and every 1040 income tax confession form, you may be convicted of 3 separate tax crimes and go to prison for up to 9 years. If the IRS tries to put you in prison, you have to pay a tax lawyer hundreds of thousands of dollars or more to defend you. If the IRS tries to put you in prison and there is an error found on your 1040 tax form, whether it's the fault of your accountant or preparer, you must prove that the mistake was inadvertent and not an attempt by you to evade paying federal income taxes. And your hard-earned money you pay to the federal government will be used to fund forever wars, the protection of pedophiles, and corruption in federal government. Okay, now let's go to the benefits of filing 1040 form. Okay. Well, the only benefit I see here, which is that you get a little bit lower interest rates if you want to borrow for your business or buying real estate. Okay. Without that, you can still get loans for your real estate. It's a little bit harder. And for business, even a little bit harder. Okay. And you're going to pay a little bit higher interest rate. But you won't be a slave. Which one would you rather have? Save all this money, maybe pay a little bit higher interest rates? You choose, right? Let's go now to the risks of not filing 1040 income tax confession forms. None. There is no risk. You took the rope off of your neck. You're free. There's 80 million non-filers. Remember, people at freedomlawschool.org, our website. I have that information on step 3. IRS relies on deception and bluff to sucker you into signing a 1040 form under oath. Give it to the IRS, you owe the money, okay? So when you don't do that, you are free, brothers and sisters, okay? Now, let's go now to benefits of not filing income tax form, okay? Freedom Law School, if you be part of our Restore Freedom Plan, will guarantee to our students that you will stay out of prison by following the law as published on the U.S. government official legal websites, Supreme Court rulings, as published by Congress, and U.S. Treasury decisions. We send petitions step forward in our website to all 3 of our students, congressmen, showing them that the law does not require non-residents of Washington, D.C. to file and pay federal income tax. That's right. Only citizens and residents of D.C. have to file and pay income tax, not the people of the 50 United States. If the IRS ever sends you, our students, any letters, Freedom Law School determines if a response is necessary and prepares all respond if needed. Most letters do not require a response. In fact, unnecessary response may trigger you to show up on the IRS's radar to send future letters and harassment. If our students follow 100% of Freedom Law School's advice and lose a tax case, okay, and IRS takes your money by force, Freedom Law School will reimburse them in full. Hasn't happened yet, okay? We have the guarantee under Step 6 under Restore Freedom Plan on our website, freedomlawschool.org. Rather than funding war, fraud, and protection of pedophiles, a portion of your money is funding movement, freedom movement, spiriting, restoration of peace, freedom, and justice. Okay? So, folks, there's more articles in here, by the way, but I'll tell you what, this is important for you to watch, these 2 videos on this page. Why the IRS cannot simply steal your stuff if you know how to challenge them, and if you stop signing those 1040 income tax confession forms. You don't owe them nothing. If they want to come after you, they have to. These videos cover the due process of law. Okay, you have a right to challenge IRS in these cases when you don't file. They have to, as a non-filer, make up a tax proposal formally, give you notice of it. You have a chance to go to U.S. tax court and challenge him with a real, full-blown trial. And that may take 2 or 3 years or longer, possibly. Appeal that to the Federal Court of Appeal. And if they rule against you still at the collection due process hearing, you have other options available to challenge the IRS, okay? Like, challenging penalties and interest, and depending on what happened down below at the tax court. And you can challenge that from IRS Appeals Office, appeal to the tax court, appeal out to the Court of Appeal. All this stuff could take years and after years if they come after you. But as you see on our website, the IRS is leaving non-filers alone, over 99.9% of them anyways. So on these videos, you're going to get the facts on these for yourself in a lot more detail. So what you want to do now, okay, is go to our website, okay, freedomlawschool.org, okay, and start with the law. Step 1 on the law, okay, you'll need to verify for yourself that based on the official legal websites of the U.S. government, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay federal income taxes. These 2 brochures, you can watch them, download them, we'll send them to other people, or call us, and we mail them to you for free. That's right. Fast Track Your Success or Restore Freedom, they both have the same content. They both show you why no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income tax. 50,000 reward if you can show me any illegal error in any of these brochures. So you can watch the 10-minute video right there. There's more details on this. Go start with the law, and then, you heard this is step 2 on income tax. And number 3, take the bluff out of this game. They're bluffing you. The Wizard of Oz, the IRS, the major media is bluffing you. They brainwash you to be a slave by pushing your buttons. Okay? of stress, fear, panic. They tell you to file and pay all your time. Okay? So go and check out all this education on our website for free. We help you to be free at freedomlawschool.org. On your own for free, you can do it. And be sure to write petitions to your congressman. Step 5, yes. Okay? Step 4 now. And this is important. You write your congressman. You're doing the thing you should be doing as your right to have them correct the IRS stealing your money, deceiving American people, and protecting yourself at the same time. You can do the free stuff, or if you want to become a Restore Freedom Plan member and protect each other, we protect you. That's all your choice. So with that, I give you guys my love and I invite you to get over the lack of knowledge. Get over the fear. It's all caused by ignorance and lies you've been told all your life. And come to the side of the truth, knowledge, and wisdom. And you see, if you seek the truth shall set you free. You'll be free. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and then put your smartphone in your car, watch the road. As you listen to the videos, you'll know the truth. When you get to work, at lunch, dinner at home, then you can play it again and watch and verify what I'm showing you is actually the law. Government's own websites and their own legal websites that give you all this information. And you'll be free. And tell someone you love. Share this information with your family members, spouse, siblings, children, parents, cousins, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, co-workers, friends, and give them a chance to be free. Now, I know some of them will be afraid and roll their eyes and look at you and say, oh, you're going to go to prison? Tell them, wait, pay them on. The president of Freedom Law School is openly not filing income taxes for over 30 years. He's a leader. How come they don't try to put him in jail? Because there is no law requiring the people of the 50 states, like you and me, to file and pay federal income taxes in the first place. And the IRS knows if they put me on trial, they will lose. So that's why they don't ever try to charge me criminally for not having filing and paying income taxes. Okay? And you can be as protected as me with all this information for free at freedomlawschool.org. So with that, I give you my love and I wish you all education, wisdom, peace, prosperity, and peace of mind.